where every soul they meet's family. Black's tropical, a place to sow, soil family. And now we know they take a seed and make it grow. Black's tropical, Savannah's own Beverly. Family, there was a man, he had a plan, his name was Bobby. He met this girl.
So let's get to growing. All right, fam. So we're back in the garden, and if you have been following us for a while, you have most definitely saw us go from our fall planting to our winter harvest. Yeah. So we took y'all through all the steps that we went through for our fall garden, and now it is time to get ready for a spring. All right, so I have shown y'all the video of me putting my beds together, getting ready to start some new growing areas. I showed y'all from scratch how I built those beds, and I showed y'all me putting down some of those plants. And now it's some more of my garden that I'm going to do some work on. And like I told you before, this is a total novice season for the beginner growers, or some of the people who may just want some inspiration to get out there and do some growing for themselves. We are going to show you from scratch, and I already started how to get your garden going. And as the year goes on, I'm going to show y'all the progress and everything I do during the year to get to our finished product. All right, so me and my wife, we're going to get out here in this garden and we're going to try. Now, grant you guys, I love my garden so much. Sometimes I just get out here and I forget I'm a content creator. I just work. You know what I mean? So some things I may miss, but I'm going to try to be cognizant of the fact that there's some people that might be looking to do the things that I'm doing to keep their garden going. So it is the beginning of spring, and we are growing great right now. Everything is popping, and I definitely want to get out here and do what I do because I love what I do. But I want to definitely make sure I keep y'all abreast of the things I do. Now, you're going to realize that maybe some of this stuff look a little easier than what you think it may be. Well, that may be because I forgot to show y'all all the tedious parts of it. But I'm going to try to show y'all some of that too, so y'all can have an idea that when this stuff goes on, it's supposed to go on, right? So let's get to growing. If you have been following us, you saw last fall when I started our fall growing. And I planted some broccoli, some greens, some cabbage. I also put down some icon berries. And you also saw us when we harvested those amazing crops. I showed y'all when I put the starts down, I showed y'all how I fertilized it and how we were able to produce, harvest, and eat some amazing brassicas that we grew from the fall all through the winter. And now it's time for the fall crop to come out. So as you can see behind us, broccoli. We got a lot of broccoli from the starts that we planted this fall. We have eaten a lot. We have a lot in the freezer, and it should last us, a good little bit of time. I don't think it's going to last us until next year. So we're going to have to work on that next fall to make sure we have enough so we can actually get all the way through the year eating broccoli from time to time. All right. So we did have our greens. I did harvest our cabbage. Now, y'all didn't see the harvest of the cabbage, and I just kind of went out there and harvested because we wanted to eat some cabbage. So now it is time for all that to come up. I know it is still pretty cold in different parts of the country, but for here, when we've been having 50 and 60 at night and 80 to mid 80s during the day. So the fluctuation can wreak a little bit of havoc on the plants. Some of the plants that I jumped the gun on did get damaged, but I'm okay with that because I had fun doing the work that it took to put it down. So I'm gonna have to just put them down again. I'm pretty confident that we have had our last frost and I'm ready to get to growing. So guys, one of the first things we want to do is go ahead and remove our plants from the planter. So fam, there's no secret to removing these. I would say go ahead and decide what you want to do with them before you go ahead and pull them up. But these heads of broccoli are still very much edible. And if you felt like eating them, you most definitely can. They are really tender and taste really good. So you definitely can eat these. So don't even doubt that, because when you grow it yourself, you actually growing a variety that's good to eat. And because you're not doing no funny business with it, it's going to taste amazing. So guys, I told you all when I put these down, all the new things I was going to do with my garden. And I want to see if there was going to be any improvement to my growing. You could be a good gardener just worrying about your NP and K, but if you want to be an amazing gardener, you definitely need to pay attention to your micronutrients. You need to make sure your soil is really good with its micronutrients, because they do so much to improve the quality of the plant. So if you want a bigger harvest, a stronger leaf, a greener, more healthier plant, you definitely need to pay attention to the micronutrients, because the micronutrients, while it's important to the plant, is absolutely important to our bodies. If your soil don't have the amazing nutrients that your body needs, when you eat them, you don't get them. So magnesium is an amazing example of that. If your soil is lacking in the magnesium, and magnesium, like we had told y'all, all of us are deficient in. And we are deficient in it because our foods are not having it in it. So everybody having to supplement with something because our foods are lacking in the magnesium. We want to make sure our body is running like a well-oiled machine. So whenever those issues arise, our body is able to fight those issues off. So it is so important, guys. That's one of the reasons why it is so important to raise your own food. Now, for example, look at this collard green leaf. This is an amazing example of your plant having all its micronutrients. Look how green and lush this leaf is. It is thick. The walls of this thing is absolutely thick. I never seen greens this healthy looking. What did I do different? I made sure my soil had plenty of micronutrients in it. This was a learning experience for me. I know exactly what my plants typically look like. Now, I get good growth. They look amazing, but this is way better. And I wouldn't have never known it was better if I didn't try and actually was able to compare the two. So, I mean, that is beautiful, guys. This whole plant, which I'm going to go ahead and pull it on up, is beautiful. Absolutely, guys. The green is the greenest it could be. It is dark, lush greenery. I mean, guys, it gets no better. And we're going to take these in the house because we got to eat these. All right. It hasn't bolted yet, but it's getting close. So we're gonna go ahead and take these in the house, and we're gonna eat them.
Time to harvest the collards. So let's make collard green powder. So here I have our fresh collards my husband just took out of the garden. I'm cutting them up to fit them on my freeze dryer pan. We have a Harvest Right freeze dryer. So once I get all of my collards clean and on my pan, I load my machine and I let her rip. Now it doesn't take terribly long, but the machine will do all the work and you just have to wait. When it's done, I get it all out in a bowl and I just crush it up. Now this is a great way to get your veggies in. You can have them from your kids or whoever in your family don't like veggies, but you can make pasta with this. You can sprinkle this in bread, whatever you cooking, sprinkle it on top, spaghetti, lasagna, put it in mac and cheese, or you can put it in smoothies or capsule it. Take them every day. Get your veggies in though. I keep ours in a jar. We've been doing this for a few years. 1 teaspoon equals 1 serving size of collard greens. I made baked beans, and yeah, I put peaches in our baked beans. Sprinkle a little bit on top and it's delicious. It doesn't even really change the flavor, but the benefits are there. Husband approved.
I went and pulled up some clover, some green clover. Can you tell the difference? This green clover has just been growing wild, and this came out of my bed that I mended. So guys, these beds are Vigo beds, and they're probably what, 3 years old. And I know y'all gonna ask me what's this bin. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer that right now. These are composting bins, right? So one of the things I do with these bins is whenever I pull the weeds out of my beds, I will put them inside the composting bin so they can go ahead and break down. And as they break down, my plants will reach in and grab some of that nutrients out of there. And one of the things I have done is I put worms in my beds. Yes, I put worms down here so that they can eat the foods that I put into my compostable bins and turn it into worm castings. And that put even more nutrients into my garden bed. So I have buckets full of very good nutrients for my plants to feed off of. So the way this bucket is made, it has holes all the way down to the bottom. So the worms can actually go out of it and come back in. And my roots of my plants can actually go into the holes and feed if they need to. So I'm going to put some fresh greenery inside my compostable bins. As a matter of fact, I don't know how good you can see that, but that's a baby worm. And I put those in this bed to help me out. So actually, here come another one. That's two worms that's just sitting up on top of there, and I'm sure it came off the roots of some of the plants that I did pull up. But I love to see that. That means I have healthy soil and I got good nutrients down in that soil also. So I'm gonna take some of these tasty broccoli plants and I'm gonna put them down in here with this already broke down compost, and it should add some heat and break down even more. So guys, if you're familiar with the composting process, when you have brown, broke down compost, all you have to do is mix your greenery with it, and it heats up and break it down even further. So that's what we're gonna do with these. Mix it in, and all I have to do is keep it full, guys. To keep it full, my worms will absolutely go in there and they will feast off of all of that, and then they'll release it back as worm compost. And as many of y'all know, that is excellent fertilizer. All right, fam. So we have a wheelbarrow full after pulling our garden. Now, guys, in an emergency situation, this is all food. It's actually really good food. It's better food than you can purchase from any place because you know exactly what you did to this. There's no chemicals, no pesticides, nothing on this that will hurt you or your family. And it tastes amazing. It has all the vital nutrients that your body will need. Don't think of this as waste, because it's not. You know, because we do have chickens and rabbits, my rabbits will turn this into meat. My chickens will turn this into eggs. So it's going to be used. But if you don't have chickens or rabbits, you can absolutely eat all this. Even if you do have them and you prefer to eat them, you can eat this, no problem. Let's go share. Girls, look what we got. It's good. It's going to be processing time shortly. Hey, big girl. Here you go. So this is one of our breeding female chinchillas. She is a big girl. Like, I don't know if you can tell by seeing on this video, but she is humongous. And we love this breed because the coat is beautiful. They get big, so there's a lot of meat on them. And they're pretty good temperament. So this is the breed that we're going to stick with. I do have some pelts in the house that I am going to clean, and I'm going to try to make something out of it, you know. Told my wife a trench coat, a chinchilla trench coat. All right, fam. So it's been a couple of weeks, and our cayenne pepper is growing pretty good. I think they would have been doing better, but we did have a couple of cold snaps within a couple of weeks, and that might have held them back a little bit. So what we decided to do with these beds, I saw some strawberries and I just could not help myself. So we planted strawberries and they are growing amazing, guys. As you can see, we are already getting some strawberries. The plants have almost doubled in size from the time that we purchased them. So we are really excited about that. In this bed, I only planted a portion of it, and it's planted with stevia. So we want to make sure we had plenty of stevia plants, so we gonna get some sweetener from that. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't grown your own stevia, I don't know exactly what that is that you're getting out of the store, because when we freeze dry our stevia, it remains green. So I don't know how they get it white. So it must be a process to that. So if you trying to eat healthier by not eating as much sugar, and you thinking eating that stevia that you're getting from the store is the healthy way to go, know that some kind of chemical process is going on with that, because it should be green. We have dried it before. We got plenty of it in the house, and it's the things that make you go, You don't know it until you grow it, guys. So, all right, fam. So it is another day, and I showed y'all of me pulling all my broccoli, my greens, and my cabbage from my garden. I went in and fed the animals with them, and my wife came out and got those amazing collard greens, and she took them in the house, cleaned them up, and she freeze dried them to make green powder. Guys, simply amazing. Because we freeze dried it, those greens kept about 95% of all the minerals that was contained in them. And the fact that we won't be cooking them will make it hold on to even more. So we are going to get these beds ready to plant. It is amazing. It is the beginning of spring, and we definitely want to get our garden going. I'm gonna let y'all see what these gardens look like. You definitely need to know what you're doing is obtainable. And if your garden side look like this, that don't mean you can't fix it, because it is normal. It is normal for things to grow up. We are going to clean these beds up so we can start dropping seeds and getting those amazing vegetables and fruit that we so much love and need. All right, so let's get going, guys. So fam, this is my bed that I took my greens and cabbage out of. Looks absolutely horrible, right? But you're gonna see this in a few months when we have all our amazing vegetables growing, and it's gonna look beautiful. All right, but no, if you starting off with something that looks similar to this, it's perfectly fine. In this bed, I try not to disturb the soil too bad. I try to get the top layer of weeds off, but while not digging too deep into the soil, because I don't want to disturb everything that's going on in the soil. But at the same time, I don't want my plants to compete for nutrients with a whole bunch of weeds, herbs, whatever we got going on in this particular bed. So I have learned to not try and make my garden as aesthetic as I used to, because I want the plant life around it to be an addition to my garden. And plus, we do raise bees, and they may enjoy some of the other plants that's growing, the clovers, and all other plants that might put out a little flower that they can get a little nectar from. But I am extremely proud of this bed. So while you see that it is not full or anything, I literally built all of this soil. It is really rich. Everything I put in this bed grows amazingly well. I literally had it stacked all the way to the top with banana plants, rabbit manure, chicken manure, and all that. And it broke all the way down to what it is now. And it is extremely rich. And I continue to put more organic matter into this bed every year, every season actually. Every time I decide to drop something else into this bed, I make sure I go ahead and amend it with even more of the amazing nutrients that it needs, you know. So I do put micronutrients in there now, and I use my rabbit manure, which also has all my macronutrients and my micro. All of them are extremely important. Now, wow, macronutrients is absolutely essential for your plants to grow. Micronutrients is also important. It allows your plants to perform at its maximum potential, allows it to produce its fruit and vegetables at its maximum potential. And that, as gardeners and farmers and growers, is what we are looking for. So some of those micronutrients is iron, zinc, copper, boron, manganese, chloride, and more, you know. So you definitely want to pay attention to your micronutrients for maximum growth. So guys, these are my beds that I just pulled my broccolis out of. We're gonna go ahead and get those together. My weed pressure in these beds don't tend to be as bad as it is in my other beds. So of course, you know, most of this has been potting soil, and then I topped it with some organic material over the years. So I don't feel as though these are as good a growing medium as my live soil over there that I built from day one. All right, fam. So we are going to stop it right here. When we come back, we will be amending the soil in these beds. We also going to be dropping some seeds and growing our groceries, guys. So we're going to bring y'all along with us all the way from start to finish, from planting to harvesting. If you was wondering, how do I get started growing? And what do I do once I get started? Guys, this is where you want to be. I'm going to show you from the beginning to the end. I appreciate y'all joining me. Till the next time, guys. Peace.